The Misopeds by Castellani. Characters.
I'm Jill Sowerwine, and I'll be reading the role of Adrienne.
I'm Caroline Williamson, and I'll be reading the role of Michelle, Adrienne's fraternal twin.
I'm Carl Bright. I'll be playing the role of James, Michelle's husband.
Seth McNeill will be playing the role of suitors 1 and 2 and Bron.
I'm Claire Dettloff. I'm playing Violet, Michelle and James' 9-year-old daughter.
And I'm Ida Taylor. I'll be reading stage instructions. Place and time. An American city in the most dull, normal manifestation, the present. Scene 1, speed dating. A coffee table, the initial coffee meet of couples who have met online. We join the first couple mid-conversation.
And you don't want kids.
Not at all.
You're sure?
I'm very sure.
When a woman is serious about looking for a relationship, everyone assumes she wants kids. It's insulting.
One reason I responded to you was that you were upfront about that. At our age, everyone expects us to panic and spawn. I think kids are great, but I have no desire to be a dad.
You think kids are great?
Sure, I love my niece and nephew, but I am so glad to hand them back to my brother after a play date.
You have play dates with children.
2 hours is my max with kids. I love them for 2 hours and then we're done.
Have you had a vasectomy?
What? No.
Well, I had my tubes tied at 21. Had to leave the country to find a doctor to do it.
Wow, that's good.
This isn't going anywhere unless you're sterilized too.
This is our first date.
This is our last date.
Suitor 1 is out. Suitor 2 steps up to the box.
I totally agree with you about sterilization. It's the only responsible thing to do.
But you haven't done it.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about surgery down there. I know, I gotta get over it.
Do you like children?
I don't get it, mostly. Nothing against them, just I can't relate.
Nothing against them.
My sister has a baby. I met him at the holidays. She wants me to hold him. I do. Everyone coos. I don't know what to do with him, you know? You can't have a conversation. You can't have a drink or a cup of coffee. You can't even really play because he's this fragile blob with a soft skull and a weak neck. It's like holding a live load of laundry.
I like that, a live load of laundry.
Maybe when he's older and can play ball, but I just don't know how to have a relationship with a baby.
When he's older?
Yeah, be an uncle, you know?
I don't. I have no desire to spend time with children at all.
Do you have any nieces or nephews?
One niece?
How old is he?
I have no idea.
And Suitor 2 is down. Wait, who's this?
You must be Adrienne. You are lovely.
Bron, hello. Make your pitch. Impress me.
I'm looking for a strictly adult relationship. Travel, culture, cocktails, swearing whenever I want to. I couldn't wait to grow up and do all the cool things only adults get to do.
Like what?
Make lots of money, have sex. And I should mention right now, because it has been a deal breaker before, that I've had a vasectomy, and no, I will not consider reversing it. If you said you're not interested in kids as a ploy to make yourself seem cool and not desperate, tell me now. I really have no patience with children. In fact, I hate them. Deal with that or don't, but tell me now.
Oh, I despise children too. I'm sterilized as well.
I'm impressed. I can tell you are resourceful and determined.
You don't have to keep telling me about how wonderful I am. I'm well aware of my qualities.
I admit, I like to disarm women with gentlemanly compliments. I can see you're beyond that. But I'm compelled to tell you that you're the whole package, Adrienne. You're smart, you're beautiful, and you hate children. You are a rare gem.
Why don't we move this along and get a cocktail? Adults only.
Love to. There's a place not far from here, a real whiskey bar. You like whiskey?
Perfect.
I meant it about hating children. I'm not trying to shock you. I hate them. I don't even see my family at the holidays since my brother and sister spawned.
Same here. As soon as my niece was born, Christmas and Thanksgiving became intolerable.
Can I use a cheesy line?
Only if it's truly cheesy.
It's so cheesy, it's French.
Hit me.
I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Bron rises and offers Adrienne his arm in a courtly gesture. She happily takes it and they stroll off to get that whiskey. Scene 2, crossword puzzle. Michelle and James' apartment. Michelle is doing a crossword puzzle. James is doing sit-ups and push-ups.
Miso something.
Miso? Like a soup?
Hatred of children. Short.
Short children?
I've got MISO blank blank D. Let me see, 12 down.
Hate crossword puzzles.
Misoped.
Miso, a salty paste. Head is in feet, like pedestrian.
No, miso as in like misanthrope, and head as in pediatrician. Mesopedia is hatred of children. Like my sister.
Does she just hate children? I thought she hated everyone.
No, she doesn't hate everyone, but everyone grew up and had children. She's hateful to the babies, and then the grown-ups hate her.
I should stay.
James, you have to be gone before Adrienne gets here.
Can't, sorry. Feeling protective.
I'm trying to achieve inner calm for this conversation, and you going caveman is not helping.
I can't help it. I think of her hurting you and the squid, or hurting Violet, and that fight or flight thing just kicks in. In my case, fight.
The squid. That's the type of thing that makes her go ballistic, and you say stuff like that all the time.
James crosses to Michelle to put his hand on her belly. She is not visibly pregnant, and there's nothing to feel yet, but he knows the squid is in there.
I love you, Michelle. And I already love the squid. And I don't like the idea of you two facing down a monster alone.
She's my twin sister. I have faced her down alone since we were squids together. I know you hate her, but she's not dangerous. Not to me.
I don't hate her, but I will kill her if I have to. It's practical. If she does something threatening to you or Violet, I'll kill her. It's my job.
Thank you. It's very species level. I think I'm starting to hate her.
That's because you loved her in the first place.
Please go. This is hard enough without arguing with you too.
James kisses Michelle, an apology and agreement.
Better scoot. You know she doesn't bother with the intercom. She just lets herself in.
Yeah, get that key back, will you? I'd feel safer. I'll take Violet to the park, if she will tolerate that.
You know, it's difficult.
Nah, she's a toddler. She'll grow out of it.
He kisses her again. He really does not want to leave.
Go. We'll be late for daycare pickup, and then Violet will really be impossible.
With a last kiss and a pat for the squid, James finally leaves. Scene 3, sharing a womb. The apartment doors open. Adrienne has let herself in. Michelle jumps to her feet, dropping the crossword puzzle.
Michelle, I have the best news. I know you have news, and if you called me over here, it's probably bad, so just let me go first so I don't feel terrible telling you my good news after you tell me your bad news.
What happened?
I'm in love.
You?
Me! Isn't it crazy?
Congratulations.
Oh, Michelle, he is a dream. His name is Bron. He's 40. He's had a vasectomy. He's educated, successful, fun-loving, handsome. He is everything that I've ever wanted in a man.
I'm so happy for you.
He's such a gentleman. He is so considerate, a wild lover, just absolutely opinionated, and a connoisseur of fine wines and whiskey, but he'll still eat a hot dog on the street.
Sounds like the whole package.
He is. He is, and he loves me. Can you believe it? Somebody loves me.
It's wonderful. I can't wait to meet him.
I don't know.
Adrienne, you don't think I'd invite him here with you, where my child lives, do you? James and I will get a babysitter and we'll go to a restaurant, of course.
Would you? That would be marvelous. He's the best, Michelle. You'll like him. I'm sure that you'll like him.
You will. I'm sure I will.
All right, that's me.
Adrienne physically braces herself on the furniture or a wall as she says,
I'm braced. I'm ready. What's wrong?
Nothing. I have good news too.
Good news, you can text. Only bad news has to be face to face.
This is good news, but it's big news. It's too big for text.
Adrienne physically reacts, maybe getting faint or leaning over whatever she's braced on.
Michelle, this better be good. It better be good because it sounds bad. Like, big in-person news is not good. It's not good, Michelle.
Breathe, Adrienne. It's good news. Do you breathe in?
Adrienne does some anti-anxiety breathing, box breaths are similar. Maybe Michelle joins in. Adrienne gradually relaxes enough to stand up and receive the news.
I'm ready.
I'm pregnant.
Adrienne falls to the floor.
What?
Adrienne, get up.
Now? Here in this room?
In my body, yes.
Ew! No! Once was disgusting enough. Again? Again, Michelle?
Yes, again.
Oh, how revolting.
Get up.
Adrienne is crawling around, gagging, covering her eyes. Michelle steps towards her.
Oh, get back! Get back! Don't touch me! You've got a thing inside of you. I'm gonna be sick.
James calls it the squid.
Oh, that's too much. Adrienne loses it.
Stop this, Adrienne. It's completely normal. Stand up and say congratulations, Michelle.
Oh, you dumb ox! You utter clown! You simpleton!
That's enough.
You're ruining the planet! How could you?
You don't care about the planet. You take a plane every chance you get.
It rots your brain, you'll be fat and stupid, and your Cro-Magnon husband of a husband will leave you, and you'll be a cliche. An absolute cliche, and believe me, no one with half a brain will want you, all fat and slovenly with your sticky toddler drooling on the floor.
Speaking of absolute cliches, I've heard all this before. The first time I was pregnant. Are you ever going to grow up?
Grow up? You call it growing up, getting knocked up every few years like a farm animal?
Grow up and be civil when normal people do normal things. Say congratulations. Oh, how nice. And then go on with your day. Insult me to someone else, not to my face.
That's maturity, huh? I can talk about my dumb slut of a sister with other people, but I can't tell her to her face that she's wasting her life.
I'm not wasting my life.
You are wasting your life!
I don't insult you for not wanting to be a mother.
Adrienne shudders and nearly faints, arms flailing. Just a ridiculously over-the-top reaction to the very idea.
No, this is the end. This is truly the end. One was a revolting, putrid mistake, but two?
Very well, thanks for asking.
Oh, you're just rubbing it in my face now. I can't even celebrate the holidays with my own family anymore because you bring that little shit machine.
Morning sickness isn't too bad this time.
Oh, morning sickness? Do you think I want to hear about your vomit? What is wrong with parents always talking about vomit and shit and piss? Poop? Grown-up people using the word poop. I am writhing in embarrassment for you. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody cares about your stupid, poopy baby. Nobody wants to look at a blob thing with snot and drool all over it.
People like babies.
You're a freak.
You're a freak.
Aha! I knew it. You think I'm a freak.
Yes, Adrienne, I think you're a freak. You're a monster. You're a mistake.
You're the mistake. Do you think Mom wanted twins? She did not.
I wish you died in the womb.
I was never in the womb. That is a disgusting thing to say.
Get out.
I never want to see you again.
Adrienne slams the apartment door. Michelle does some box breathing, calms herself. Then she picks up her crossword puzzle and sits down.
Misoped.
Scene 4, consolation prize. Adrienne slams into her apartment. Bron is there.
How's your sister?
What, sister?
Bourbon. I'll be right back.
Exit Bron. Adrienne throws herself down on the couch and pitches a mini fit. Enter Bron with bourbon.
None of that. A good Kentucky bourbon is the way to confront disappointment.
Adrienne accepts it and downs it in one go.
All right, 2 Kentucky bourbons.
Bron exits with the glass to get a refill.
Oh, Bron, it was dismal.
He
So
returns.
sad.
He returns with another bourbon for her and one for himself.
Every time I think I have things in a good place, every time I think I can accept my family and they can accept me, something happens to blow it all out of the water. I want my sister in my life, I do, but she is such a cow. I cannot have a relationship with livestock, Bron, I cannot.
What happened?
It's too revolting to discuss.
I think I can guess.
I know that I can't make the world conform to me. I know I can't expect people to think the way that I think or feel the way that I feel, but I want them to! That's what I want! I want my own twin sister to be more like me. I want the people close to me to not be so different and so bothersome, and apparently that's too much to ask.
I feel the very same way, and no, it never seems to work out.
That's why I'm so happy with you, Bron. We're cut from the same cloth.
He kisses her.
Let's go away. Let's do something fabulous and spur of the moment and piss off our coworkers.
You mean go away tonight with no notice?
I do. We'll text our bosses that we need a mental health break, and they'll have to carry on without us tomorrow and Monday.
Everyone will hate us. Good, I hate them back.
You're in good enough standing to get away with it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm extremely productive and I bring in tons of money.
Venice or Rome?
Ugh, Italians love children. They bring them everywhere and let them just run around yelling.
London, then.
Bad weather, bad food.
Good theater. And the Brits have children, but they don't associate with them. We'll book a very snooty hotel and we won't get up until it's time for high tea. We'll have champagne and scones for breakfast.
Oh, that sounds marvelous. You're the best boyfriend in the world.
Bron jumps to his feet, ready to go pack. Adrienne slumps.
What's wrong?
I think I need to wallow a little. This is really it, Bron. I don't have a sister anymore. She's pregnant again.
Oh my word.
He pours the rest of his bourbon into her glass.
Wallow, I'll take care of the reservations. All you have to do is pack.
I'm alone in the world, Bron.
Never. Never again.
She squeezes his hand and cries into her bourbon. Scene 5. All normal here. Michelle and James' apartment. James is flat on his back in the living room floor, motionless. Enter Michelle.
James. James?
Yep, got it. Awake. I'm awake. Band-Aid?
James.
They're both asleep?
It was epic tonight, but yes.
Sorry.
No. You have them both at the park. We haven't had a chance to talk about it, but they were both in a state.
It was the ice cream truck. Violet was absolutely disgusted by the way Gus was eating. She was berating him for getting chocolate all over the front of his clothes and his face. I mean, he's 2.
She had a nice big stain on the front of her own shirt.
Yeah, Gus pointed to it and started laughing. Violet was insulted and demanded that Gus be sent away, that she was here first, and then Gus started wailing. Michelle, I feel so helpless when she goes off, especially if I have Gus too, the looks I get.
Me too. When she's not pitching a fit, she's demanding details of medieval beheadings.
Yesterday, between pull-up sets, she turned to me and said, "Father, tell me how the guillotine works." It wasn't funny. I swear, every adult's head snapped toward us.
She'll grow out of it.
Yeah, we've been saying that for her whole life. What if she doesn't?
She'll grow up, we know that. And so will Gus, and it will get easier.
The way that you...
No, it is not the same at all. Violet is nothing like her.
Of course not. Not at all.
There's no similarity in this situation. It never crossed my mind.
Yeah, mine either. Yeah, I don't know what I was referring to. But it wasn't. It wasn't. You've never dealt with something like this before. This is unique.
Unique. Exactly. Completely unprecedented.
I don't think anyone has experienced something like this.
No, they haven't. And we're not experiencing it either. Nothing is really wrong.
Everything is going to be fine.
We can handle any curveball life throws at us.
We sure can. Parenting is just curveball after curveball, totally normal.
So normal. 100% normal and ordinary. All kids are strange.
Yeah, the little weirdos, all of them. I bet we were bizarre.
We turned out completely normal. We are average and regular.
No issues at all, or the same issues as every other parent or person.
They hug, worn out by optimism.
I think we'll get ready for bed.
It's 9 o'clock. You know what? Me too. That playground circuit is no joke. Gus thinks it's hilarious to climb on my legs while I do tricep dips. He's like a medicine ball.
He's gonna be strong like his dad.
And Violet can do 6 pull-ups. 6! That's really good.
Wow, so impressive.
Our kids are great.
I love them so much.
Me too.
I'm gonna pass out.
Yeah, me too.
Exit Michelle and James. Scene 6. The birthday invitation. Adrienne and Bron at home at the end of a long workday. They have clearly settled in together very happily. They are opening the mail.
A check? How archaic. I do love receiving them, though.
I don't. It means you have to go to the bank.
I enjoy money.
Well, so do I, but I don't enjoy banks.
The rest of this pile is trash.
Oh, somebody sent us a fancy invitation.
She slits open a large, formal envelope.
From my mom?
Oh, how is Vivian?
About to turn 65.
Milestone, I must send flowers. Note the date on the calendar for me, will you, darling?
She's having a party. A big party.
Appropriate. Black tie? I do love to dress up for occasions.
No, it's in the afternoon.
Good Lord, why? 65 is not too old for a healthy woman to dance the night away.
Adrienne passes the invitation to Bron and grimly holds up the note that was enclosed with it.
Dear Adrienne, it's been 5 years since your break with your sister. I'm not asking for you or her to mend that. The only thing that I truly want for my 65th birthday is to have my whole family together for a few hours. And by whole family, I mean my grandchildren and my grandnieces and nephews. Yes, minors. That would mean the world to me if you would come. More than that, if you would be civil to everyone, no matter how young or old. Like, as if I've ever been rude to an old person.
You are my prickly pear.
I'm asking the same courtesy from your sister. I am not singling you out. I look forward to seeing you and Bron.
No, not me.
You and Bron on the 25th. All my love, Mom.
Adrienne groans and throws herself back on the couch. Bron picks up the discarded invitation.
This is a nice hotel. The food and service will be lovely. The little demons will have to be on their best behavior, better than they'd be at Grandma's anyway. Your mother won't be so insensitive as to seat you with Michelle. You are between a couple of your elderly aunts and uncles. 4 hours max and...
Bron freezes, eyes bulging at something on the invitation. Adrienne, alerted by the sudden silence, sits up. He hands her the invitation. She runs her eyes over it swiftly.
No.
Bron jumps to his feet.
Bourbon, now.
Baby pictures? For a collage?
Unbearably tacky. I thought Vivian had more taste.
No, Bron, she has those pictures of me.
Bron runs for the bourbon and doses Adrienne. After downing a shot,
Michelle is making the collage. That's her address for people to send them. Bron, I need those photos.
You could ask.
Bron, this is the breeder we're talking about. Oh God, all those horrible photos of us in matching outfits. It's so stupid. We don't even look alike.
If you asked Vivian to ask Michelle...
Listen to yourself. If any of these people were reasonable, this wouldn't be happening at all.
Then I don't see how. Unless you have a simpatico aunt or uncle I don't know about.
I do not. I mean, they're not all completely terrible, but I can't ask any of them to sneak into Michelle's and filch my pictures.
One of them will do it?
No, I'll do it, Bron. I still have her key.
Technically, it's not breaking and entering. You are not welcome, but she did give you the key and she hasn't demanded it back. Or did she? That's legally relevant.
She did not.
You'll have to slip in when no one is home. No husband, no housekeeper.
As if Michelle would employ a housekeeper. She lives surrounded by deadly Legos, melted Korans, the remains of boxed mac and cheese. But she's a creature of habit. I'll just have to spy a little bit. I need a disguise.
A disguise? Adrienne, surely she will recognize her own sister.
And all it takes is a big hat that I can stuff in my bag. There's no doorman. Hat on the way in, no hat on the way out, and the cameras will think it's two different people.
Daring.
The photos are an offense.
Risky.
What's the worst thing that could happen?
You get caught, your sister calls the police.
Unlikely. My mother would be so disappointed.
In whom?
Me for stealing the pictures, and Michelle for calling the police. That's how it always was with us, always in trouble for the opposite reasons.
I wish I could do this for you, but I never had permission to use that key, and from how you've described your brother-in-law, he's the type who takes defense of home and family seriously. Are you sure the pictures are worth the potential downside?
All I want is to live my life on my own terms.
Bron pours them both bourbon and raises his glass.
I will always drink to that.
They resolutely clink glasses. Scene 7, meeting her match. Michelle and James' apartment. The door opens and Violet, age 9, sneaks in. She crosses the empty room with the exaggerated sneakiness, on tiptoes even, of a child bent on mischief, even though no one is here to witness it. Exit Violet, across the space and out of view. Enter Adrienne. She lets herself in quietly and begins an almost as exaggerated sneak into the apartment. Just as Violet sneaks back into the space, photos in hand. Face off, a long, terrified silence. Then...
Oh no, you must be Violet.
You're not allowed.
I didn't break in, I have a key.
Are you Aunt Adrienne?
Why do you say that?
My father worries about you and that key. He said someday you're going to sneak in the middle of the night and kill us all. Or at least kill me and Gus.
Absurd. The man is absurd. I don't ever plan to be anywhere near you or your brother, Gus. At least not until you reach the age of majority. The idea that I would disturb my rest to go voluntarily get close to a child reveals a paltry and undeveloped mind.
Did you just call my daddy a Dumbo?
Technically, yes.
Why did my mom marry a guy who wasn't very smart?
I don't know why your mother does anything.
You're twins.
Who said I'm your Aunt Adrienne? I could be any random person sneaking into your apartment.
Aunt Adrienne, I am not a Dumbo.
Well, in that case, yes. I'm your mother's sister, and therefore, your aunt. But this is not a conversation we are having. I do not have conversations with children. I plan to get in and get out none the wiser. Michelle has something that belongs to me, something that I must get back, and I will take it, and she will never know that I was here. Unless you tell, which you should not.
What is it?
What have you got there?
Violet hides her hands behind her back.
Nothing.
Baby pictures?
No! I was not a baby. I was not.
Oh, neither was I. It's about Grandma Vivian's birthday party. See, I'm invited.
Grandma Viv is turning 65 and my mom says that means everybody's got to put up with each other for one afternoon.
That's right, and I promised not to talk to Michelle or James or you or your brother, and I promised to be polite. But the photos, Violet, I can't abide the photos. That is going too far.
Slowly, Violet extends the photos in her hand to Adrienne. Adrienne sees they are baby pictures of Violet.
Throwing them down the garbage chute.
It won't work. Maintenance will see them and think, oh no, someone lost their baby pictures, and pin them to the wall in the laundry room, and then you're busted. You have to shred them.
Violet looks around. Is there a shredder?
Just give them to me. I'll take them with me.
Don't look at them.
Well, what a disgusting suggestion. Of course I won't.
Violet holds them out. Adrienne reaches, then pulls her hand back.
But first, I need mine. Can you find them for me? The photos for Grandma Vivian's birthday party? Pictures of me? Go get them.
Violet scoots. Adrienne exhales as a huge strain is upon her. Violet returns. Adrienne forces herself to look at the photos to verify they're the right ones. Maybe she gags.
It's horrible. How could anyone think that this is fun and pleasant? Why would they put these photos up at a party for an old woman? Who wants to see these malformed humans?
It's revolting.
It really is, and while we're eating...
If I am served the kiddie meal, I am leaving.
As you should.
Grandma says it's past appetizers and then a sit-down lunch. What's a past appetizer?
It means out-of-work actors will saunter around with tiny trays of canapes. The canapes are usually delicious, and the out-of-work actors are usually good-looking, so it's nice.
What's a canape?
You really know nothing, do you?
They won't tell me anything. I have to look everything up in actual big book dictionaries and encyclopedias at the library because all my internet access is blocked.
Intolerable.
I can't do anything. Wait until you're older.
I remember that. Awful. How long are you in?
I'm 9.
Halfway. Do you have any brains? Can you graduate early and go off to college at 16?
My dad says no way.
Grandma Viv was the same way.
Maybe we can hang out at the party and it won't be so horrible.
I'm not supposed to talk to you, remember? I'm not allowed.
Oh, Adrienne, there's going to be a kiddie table.
I will be seated as far as possible from that pit, no fear. I expect I'll be sitting with Uncle Gabe. He's got to be at least 80.
But I'm going to be seated there. My dad says I'm going to this party even if I manage to fake a temperature of 105.
Have you done that?
School picture day, when my teeth were...
Violet gestures, unable to form the words for the horror of a mouth half full of baby teeth, half adult teeth. Adrienne reacts as if she's been fed a tarantula.
Okay, here's what you do. Fill up on the canapes so you're not hungry. And then just keep finding excuses to not be at the table. Go to the ladies' room, go over to Grandma Viv and tell her she doesn't look a day over 50. Examine the flower arrangements. You'll get shooed back to the kiddie table a couple of times, but if you're discreet, which means being unobtrusive without actually hiding, you won't spend any real time there.
Discreet. Unobtrusive without actually hiding. Why would I just not hide?
Parents are sensitive to children hiding. They don't have you in the peripheral vision, they start looking, so be around, but not, doing anything that requires intervention.
set no fires.
You got it. Avoid candles. Don't poke at a big pile of anything. Don't try to pick up anything that might be heavy, nothing that might attract attention.
Discreet. It means fly under the radar. My dad says that.
He tells you to fly under the radar?
I eavesdrop a lot. Speaking of my dad, you better go. I told my dad I had to pee so I could ditch squishy Gus on the seesaw. But as soon as my mom gets back from the store, he'll come looking for me.
Okay, remember, you have the right to remain silent. Keep insisting that you have no idea what happened to the photographs. When they realize that mine are gone too, they'll blame me and I'll take the heat.
She stuffs the offensive photographs into her bag and runs for the door.
And Violet, keep your head up. This childhood crap, it will end. Someday the world will see you for the person that you already are. You just have to hang in there until you turn 18.
Such a long time.
None of that. Only kids think years are a long time.
I'll see you at Grandma Liv's party.
This conversation never happened.
Adrienne bolts. Violet exits and returns with a bag or box of cookies. She selects one, sits down and on the couch and to eat it. The door opens. Enter James.
Young lady,
My name is Violet.
I thought you came up here to pee.
I did, and then I decided to sneak a cookie.
James helps himself to a cookie.
I usually sneak a cookie when I have to run up here for something too.
They eat in companionable silence.
Ready to go back to the playground?
No.
You were really good on the seesaw.
Really?
I know Gus appreciates it.
Really? Because I don't think Gus is mature enough to appreciate anything anyone does for him. Gus is take.
He's 4, sweetie.
I don't appreciate pet names, as you know.
Sorry, I like to give pet names to the people I love.
Well, then you must not love Gus because you call him Gus.
James would like to reply, but he's in over his head and he knows it.
How about this? We go back to the playground and you get some exercise. You don't have to play with Gus anymore today. Your mom is playing with him and you and I will do a playground circuit. Sounds good?
Sounds acceptable.
And more cookies are not in our training plan.
James removes the cookie bag box from Violet's hand and puts it on the coffee table. She reacts with something of a flouse, but she acquiesces. They exit. Scene 8, the party. Adrienne, in an afternoon party dress and heels, is alone on stage, surrounded by the sounds of a classy afternoon birthday party in a hotel. A happy babble of conversation punctuated by genial laughter against a background of light jazz. Perhaps she holds a glass of white wine or champagne. Sound of a child shrieking with glee. Violet appears. Record scratch. All sound wrenches to a stop.
You must be Aunt Adrienne. I'm Violet.
Cacophony. Sounds of breaking glass, thunder, a woman screaming. A sobbing toddler. Violet runs off stage. The lights darken. Searchlights rake the space, then pin Adrienne like a criminal. She is like a hunted animal, panicked.
No!
Adrienne runs off stage. Scene 9, Creme de Violet. Adrienne and Bron's apartment. Sound of a cocktail shaker full of ice being shaken. Adrienne enters, wearing heels and a party dress.
Adrienne, I think I finally got this one right.
Adrienne flops onto the couch, a sprawl of misery. Bron enters, an elegant, long-stemmed coupe in one hand, cocktail shaker in the other.
It was bad. It was bad.
Adrienne slowly sits up, maybe takes her heels off. Her whole energy is off. The crackling, combative, quick side of her is quelled.
Something happened. Something happened.
Bron offers her a coupe filled with an icy, gray-purple clear liquid.
Gin, dry vermouth, creme de violette, absinthe, ice cold.
It's just a martini that you fucked with.
She sips it.
It is sublime.
And it's strong. I figured you'd need a real belt after that party.
Do you ever wonder what your early life would have been like if someone, say, an uncle, had seen you for who you really were? We don't talk about it, but I know what it must have been like for you.
What must have been like?
Elementary school? Yes, today at the party, something happened. Violet.
Creme de violette.
No, my niece, Violet. I need to get custody of her.
really Vivian's birthday, or did your family stage some sort of reprogramming? Oh, Adrienne, that is funny, Adrienne.
I had a conversation with Violet this afternoon, just a civilized bit of small talk. It should have been just a pleasant 10 minutes at a party and nothing more. Violet happened to be near me and she politely introduced herself and said, "You must be Aunt Adrienne," as if we'd never met.
Well done.
But then James sees us and he charges across the room like a bull, bellowing, "Violet, get away from that woman!"
Boorishness. The utter classless display of masculinity. I still can't fathom how a sister of yours could marry a man with such a lack of sprezzatura.
And then Michelle screams and scoops up Gus.
Ridiculous.
This is humiliating. In all of the hubbub, Violet took $20 out of my mom's wallet and got a taxi home. Michelle and James lit out after her with Gus, the blob, who was screaming like he was on fire. My Uncle Gabe confirmed that Violet approached me, but no one cares, no one's listening.
Sounds terribly unpleasant.
She's a person, Bron. A person. Michelle and James don't like her. They say they love her, and maybe they do, but they don't like her. I like her. She doesn't belong with those people. She needs a home where she's respected as a full human being. I can give that to her.
Bron drinks the rest of the violet martini from the metal shaker. Adrienne holds up her empty coupe.
I need another one of these.
Too late. Adrienne, my one true love, have you lost your mind?
That imaginary uncle I invented for you, the one who saw you, Bron, when you were Violet's age.
I was never.
Now, of course, I'm not implying that you were shorter once and couldn't earn your own money or drive or sign contracts. It does complicate life for 18 years.
But you're talking about motherhood.
God, guardianship, Bron, a legal arrangement.
This is absolutely terrifying.
Isn't it?
That's the first same thing you've said. It is terrifying. It's self-destructive. It's us-destructive. It's foolhardy. It's impetuous. It's going to be expensive as hell, and it's wrong, Adrienne. Wrong for you, wrong for us, even wrong for your sister Michelle. And quite possibly that male she married and the other blob they produced.
But not wrong for Violet.
Adrienne's phone beeps. A text.
My mother wants to know why I had to ruin her party.
Don't answer that.
Her phone beeps again. Bron picks it up to spare Adrienne the distress.
James ruined the party. You agreed to be polite, and you were.
At least it's just the party she's blaming for. It means she's calmed down. Earlier, during the screaming, she said that I ruined her family. Isn't that great? That it's my fault my father walked out. She always told us that he just couldn't handle twins, but today she says he couldn't handle me.
You were 2 years old when he left. What could you have done? It's not like you said something devastating and unforgivable.
Toddlers do.
Yes, they're horrid.
Apparently my father agreed.
Maybe he couldn't handle Michelle. Think about it, Adrienne. He moved clear across the country, never remarried or had more kids, and had nothing to do with you until you were adults.
He always had a lot of money. He paid for my college tuition, Michelle's too. She won't give him the time of day, but I've met him a few times. He's intelligent, driven, civilized. Michelle can't forgive him for not sitting through her awful ballet recitals or whatnot.
Sounds like a decent man who couldn't stand living with children. I can't blame him.
I'm gonna be the villain no matter how hard I try. My mom loves babies and children and loud parties with short people running and yelling and making a mess, and I will never fit into her idea of what a daughter should be, what a woman should be, just never.
You are my ideal of what a woman should be, Adrienne. Never doubt that.
Adrienne puts her heels back on, unwinds herself from the couch, and stands up. She shakes off her misery and depression in one go.
Bron, I've gotta save Violet from 9 more years of being treated like a child. Imagine if my father had let me come live with him when I was 9. Violet is a person and she deserves to live with dignity.
A 9-year-old person with loving parents who provide for her in every way the state recognizes as responsible parenting.
Her father is a violent lunatic. Her mother is a screaming heap of uselessness.
No court will see it that way. Man defends daughter, wife flees with son, awful harridan aunt denounced by a long string of character witnesses who can accurately attest to your misopedia.
I have to try. At least Violet will know that somebody cares. No one cared about me. I get why Michelle won't forgive our father. Her reasons are stupid, but yeah, he didn't care what was happening to us, what our lives were, what my life was. He didn't see that I was just like him, but I see that Violet's just like me.
You are serious. You are making this declaration in heels.
I'm completely serious.
You'd upend your whole life for this person.
Something has to be done. Someone has got to step up, and no one will do it. No one will admit the truth about Violet. No one but me will see her for who she truly is, and it's wrong, and I can't stand it. I can't live with myself knowing that my niece is being destroyed, knowing that someday her own mother, my breeder sister Michelle, will text her that she's ruined her family because Blabo Gus something something. I'm right, Bron. I am right, and I can't walk away and pretend that I don't know what I know.
You've gone full Joan of Arc. You're magnificent.
He kisses her passionately. She breaks away.
So you'll help me?
Absolutely not. But I will not stand in your way.
If I win this battle, you're moving out, aren't you?
I love you, Adrienne. But yes.
I knew it. It will crush me for a while, but I'll survive.
Bron hands the empty coupe to Adrienne. He raises the shaker as in a toast.
Hey, it's bad luck to toast with empties.
Children are bad luck, Adrienne. Bad, terrible luck.
They clink vessels, grin. Scene 10, peace offering. Spot on Adrienne, leaving a voicemail.
Mother, Vivian, this is Adrienne, calling you to apologize and to ask for your help in apologizing to Michelle and James. I'm not asking for you to apologize for me. A proxy apology is meaningless. I want to do this myself, in person, but I will need your help to make that happen. And I hope by mending things with my sister and brother-in-law, maybe that goes some ways towards mending things with you. Bron suggests that we take Michelle and James out for dinner. My treat, of course. 5 years ago, when Michelle and I had our falling out, that's what I was hoping to propose, a nice adults-only evening to get to know each other. And while I know you and she and James may resent me for suggesting something strictly adults-only in light of everything, I think it might be best. I hope you'll agree. She is my twin sister, and I have caused her a lot of pain. I hope I'm not imposing by asking you to help me to start to mend that. Thank you.
The call is over. The tight spot eases.
Bron, Operation Big Fat Lie is launched. If I know Vivian, she's gonna jump at it. What's the current hottest restaurant in town? We're gonna need a reservation for 4.
Scene 11, give her to me. Adrienne and Bron on the street in front of a restaurant waiting for Michelle and James, who are late. Bron keeps checking his watch, Adrienne her phone.
Any word?
They're not gonna hold our reservation much longer. Maybe we should have picked somewhere less hot.
They believe this is a peacemaking mission. Treating them to a reservation they couldn't get themselves is the right gesture.
You'd think, but my mother confirmed twice that I'm paying and then asked about how people dress, and could we meet at more like 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock. Are we senior citizens?
I'm texting Vivian. Are they coming still? They are late. And a shrug emoji.
I confess I hope they don't. I don't want to lose you, Adrienne.
Not now, Bron, please.
I hope they never show. Our table is gone and we're forced to settle for oysters and champagne at the bar.
I even love the way you settle. Somehow your plan B always manages to be an upgrade.
Bron pulls Adrienne in for a kiss when...
Sorry.
Enter Michelle and James, harried and hurried.
You must be Bron.
Michelle?
And this is my husband, James.
The two men shake hands, kind of a manly handshake contest.
I'll let the maitre d' know we're all here.
Bron steps away, leaving the other three to stare at each other in awkward silence.
Thank you for coming.
We're only here for Mom. It means a lot to her.
Bron returns.
It will be at least 15 minutes. We could wait at the bar, but I warn you, it is packed.
Yeah, we don't really need this, the fancy dinner. We just need an apology, and then you can have your pricey dinner by yourselves.
James.
No, I appreciate the gesture and all, but we can take care of this here and now. We have a babysitter at home. And a babysitter with Violet.
James.
Look, I want to talk to you about Violet.
Not talking to Violet is the problem.
Violet came up to me at Mom's party and said, "You must be Aunt Adrienne." I understood being polite to mean conversing in a civil manner, so I said that yes, I was, and she must be Violet.
Is this an excuse or an apology? Because
We were having a polite, civilized adult conversation. I realized you didn't expect that from me, and you overreacted.
Wait a minute.
If you can't help but interrupt.
This is my daughter we're talking about. It has nothing to do with you.
You're right. Violet is none of my business, but she is Adrienne's niece.
She left the party alone. We were terrified.
I did not tell her to leave. Is that what you think? Mind you, when I heard, I was proud. Violet is very resourceful.
No 9-year-old would think of lifting a 20 and getting a cab home by herself. She doesn't even have a key. She was sitting outside waiting for us when we got home.
A child wouldn't think of doing that, no, but it's a normal, grown-up reaction to bad behavior at a party, to leave.
James starts to answer, but Michelle puts a hand up for silence and steps between him and Adrienne, getting up in her sister's face.
Wait. What are you saying a grown-up reaction?
She's a person, Michelle. You know she
Of
is.
course she's a person.
An adult person.
You stole the baby pictures!
James lunges towards Adrienne, and Bron blocks him.
I did not.
This is your idea of an apology? Telling me that Violet is a person? What is wrong with you, Adrienne? How many screws loose do you have? We're paying for a babysitter on a weeknight. Violet and Gus have school in the morning. We want to be home before bedtime, and you've gone and made reservations at a place with a long line and probably no service.
I want you to give Violet to me. I want custody of my niece.
To you? And Bron?
Oh no, I'll be out of the picture if Violet comes to stay with her aunt. I hate children.
James attacks. It's a brawl. Sound of car horns honking as passerbys react.
James, stop!
Michelle and Adrienne break up the fight.
Violet is a person, and you treat her like a child. James treats her like property.
I do
Oh,
not.
shut up, Neanderthal. I am speaking to the human.
You cannot possibly think I would let you anywhere near Violet.
And you cannot possibly think another 9 years with you, the Neanderthal, and that blob of snot you call Gus would be good for her.
She's not a toy. She needs to go to school. She needs to go to the pediatrician. She needs
You
her
think
mother.
she needs a mother. She doesn't. She needs a guardian. And I can be that person. She is suffering, Michelle.
She isn't you. You don't get to have a do-over in life, Adrienne.
I have no desire to be in these people's company any longer. If you've had your say, my love, let's release our reservation to a grateful maitre d' and get Thai food. That fight has put me more in the mood for noodles and beer.
You know me, Michelle. I don't think I've ever done a selfless thing in my life, but I want to. For Violet, I want her to have a better start in life than I had. I'm not sorry that I talked to her at the party, and while I didn't steal her baby pictures, I did help her dispose of them. I snuck into your place to steal mine and caught her stealing her own. We were partners in crime. And then at the party, she pretended to meet me for the first time. Is that a little girl, Michelle? You grew up with me. Don't you recognize her? You can keep forcing her into a category until she flees at 18, but you are hurting her. You're hurting Gus. You've told me over and over how miserable that I made your childhood, and I bet Violet is so fun for Gus. Mom blames me for everything, I know it, but it is not me, it was her. She should have shipped me off to Dad. It's Mom who made your childhood miserable by trying to make me a normal child, and it's you that's ruining it for Violet and Gus. Give her to me. I'll take care of her. I don't truly want this, but it's the right thing to do. I know it in my bones. I'll do right to her. I'm giving up Bron to do it. It's my one selfless act. If I do this, I'll never do another selfless thing, I swear. It hurts too much. But I can give Violet a tolerable next 9 years of her life. And you can't. It's that simple, Michelle.
You're a monster, Adrienne. You're a mistaken a monster.
Good night, Michelle. Get home safe.
It wasn't nice meeting you.
Michelle grabs James' arm and they flee.
Bron, I do not want to be legally responsible for another person for the next 9 years, but it's obvious that this is the best solution for everybody. Why can't she see this?
I think you are both reasonable and persuasive, but you are dealing with limited minds, my dear. And while Violet's life will be worse without you, yours will be incontestably better without her.
I know. But it hurts to lose, Bron.
How can I console you? Do we wait here, step around the corner to the Thai place?
I'm so miserable I don't want dinner. I want dessert. I want champagne and chocolate cake.
I know just the place, my miserable sweet.
He offers his arm. She takes it.
And don't gloat. I know this is the best outcome for you, and maybe even for me, but Bron, they left Violet with a babysitter.
Both shudder.
Let us erase this unpleasantness from our minds with an entire bottle of Moet Chandon.
They stroll, Adrienne leaning on Bron in misery.
And cake. There has to be cake.
Lots of cake.
They exit. Scene 12, Revelation. Michelle and James' apartment. Michelle is curled into an armchair or corner of the couch. James enters.
Her asleep.
He approaches Michelle to kiss her. She puts her hand up to stop him, and he backs off. She doesn't look at him.
I should have kept my mouth shut and let you handle everything. I can't believe I went at Bron. Adrienne's right. I acted like a Neanderthal. I'm so sorry, Michelle. You all right? Are we all right?
You and me? Yeah. We're all right.
I know it means a lot to your mom, everyone getting along. I was prepared to be polite and get through it for your sake and for Vivian's sake, but I never saw that coming. Asking for Violet? What?
Certainly took me by surprise.
Yeah, as if Violet is anything like that Adrienne, right?
My sister has always been supremely selfish. She can only do a generous, selfless thing when it's spelled out for her explicitly, like coming to mom's party and behaving. It doesn't occur to her on her own to consider other people or be mindful of anyone else's feelings.
Well, now, if you're saying Violet is like that too, she's 9. Children are self-centered. Everyone knows that. They grow out of it. That's what growing up is.
The idea of Adrienne offering to give up Bron, the love of her life, to take care of her 9-year-old niece is astonishing.
That's one word for it.
James, what if Violet really would be better off living with her aunt?
No.
Think about it. Adrienne will treat Violet like an adult.
No, you said it yourself. Violet has to go to school, the pediatrician.
Adrienne is nuts, but she's a highly functioning professional. Violet will go to school, all right, or Adrienne will make arrangements for her. She's very demanding, my sister. Violet won't get a walk in the park academically.
You're considering this. I can't believe it.
Gus will be free of an overbearing older sister. Violet will be free of a younger brother she despises for no better reason than he's a little kid.
James shucks off his jacket and tie and drops for some push-ups.
Violet would be right across town. We set the terms. We can see her whenever we want to.
Yeah, what if that creep Bron sticks around?
Oh, I doubt that. Adrienne is right about our dad. I always thought he was your standard selfish jerk, but he's like her. She got it from somewhere. Violet got it from somewhere.
Don't say that about our daughter.
She hates children, James. It's a problem. We need a solution. Maybe Adrienne just offered it.
Yeah, and I responded by attacking her boyfriend. Sorry.
You can please stop working out. This is important.
James flops back on the floor.
I don't want Violet to go. I'll worry every day. She's a child, Michelle. No matter what she says or Adrienne says, she's just a child.
Violet enters. She's been eavesdropping from the hall.
I'm a person. I want to live with Aunt Adrienne and be a person.
You're supposed to be in bed.
But clearly I am not.
Violet, this is a private discussion between your father and I.
About me. You're talking about me.
Yes.
I want to move in with Aunt Adrienne.
Go to sleep, honey. We won't be making any decisions until tomorrow.
I'll text her.
You text with her?
I found her number in Mother's phone. I figured out your password again if you want to change it.
Give me that phone, young lady. Remember what I said about devices at night?
Yes, I remember. Neanderthal.
Both of you, stop it. Violet, go to bed. Now.
How can I sleep when you're out here making decisions about my future? It's against the Geneva Conventions!
It is not! This is not a
We
war!
are your parents, Violet. We are legally responsible for you until you turn 18, whether you like it or not.
You're going through the motions, making sure I have food and water until you can send me to college. You won't admit it, but you love Gus the best. You're always snuggling him and being nice to him.
You hate snuggling!
I want to live with somebody who doesn't condescend to me. I want to live with somebody who will treat me like a person with opinions. I want a say in my life.
Kids don't get a say in their lives because they do things like eat glass or throw the cat off the balcony.
Would I?
Well, no.
Do you worry when I'm alone in the apartment that I'll set a fire or let the tub overflow or eat glass?
Sweetheart, we really...
I am not a sweetheart. I know the type of people who get called sweetheart, and I'm not it. I'm a person, and it's late, and I need my rest. But anxiety about my future is keeping me awake because it's in the hands of two people who refuse to get to know me because I'm supposed to be a kid.
We promise to consider this, Violet, but you have to let us work out the details. We have the right. We are adults.
Fine. The school bus arrives at 7:35. I'd appreciate an update in writing in my lunchbox so I have time to look it over and consider the terms.
James starts a round of sit-ups or holds a plank.
Fine. Now go to bed.
Violet stalks from the room, sure of victory.
Well,
There will be rules. There will be a written agreement. Also, I'm not giving up legal custody. We can revoke the deal at any time. And Violet has to spend at least one night a week, plus holidays, with us.
Sunday night before the school week begins?
Sounds good.
I'll text Adrienne.
Michelle, if any harm comes to her,
You'll kill my sister, I know. I approve.
one of us has to stay out of prison. For Gus.
Michelle forgives James for being a Neanderthal. A kiss.
I'm relieved.
I am too.
It's wrong.
Violet and Gus will be happier. I'm sure of that. I'm not sure of anything else.
They hug. Happy, sad, confused, relieved. Scene 13. Breakup. Adrienne and Bron's apartment. Bron is pacing. Adrienne is carefully reading what looks like a legal document.
I love you, I support you, I want you to be happy and succeed, but not at this.
I'm reading, Bron.
I know you're reading, I want you to stop reading and listen to me.
There's nothing left to argue about. I told you what I was going to do, you told me what you were going to do, and we're doing it.
You're changing your whole life for a child.
Ugh, Adrienne shudders with horror.
A person in need. I am coming to the aid of a person in need.
If Violet wasn't a child, she wouldn't need help. The only reason that person needs help is because she's a child. And you are throwing your life down the crapper like a breeder.
Resorting to insult generally means one has lost the argument.
Well, I've lost the argument, all right. You're sitting there calmly initialing clauses that say things like, I am never to be alone in Violet's presence, as if I would ever seek out such a thing. Why does your idiotic brother-in-law think I'm a pedophile? It's revolting.
That adjective, idiotic, that's why. The man doesn't think. He can count reps at the gym and that's about it.
Why on earth does Michelle know? You know what? I don't care. But Adrienne, I'm losing you. Have lost you in the stupidest way. The most unexpected, profoundly ironic, and embarrassing way. I've lost a lot of women over the years to their biological clocks and breeder instincts, but you were better than that. You were impervious, sterilized, perfect, and unique.
I still am. I'm just being an aunt. Bron, please don't make this harder. know it's in your best interest to make this so difficult for me that I break, but then I'll have contempt for myself. Don't you see? We're over either way, either because I'm declared Violet's legal guardian or because I give up. I've steeled myself against losing you, but how can I steel myself against losing my self-respect?
I hate you. You're so wonderful.
You can tell me where you're going?
I'm moving into a hotel. I'm going to be one of those men who lives in a hotel.
Didn't Herbert Hoover live in the Waldorf Astoria?
There's a role model.
Also the Duke of Windsor?
That's me. A man who abdicated the throne for love of a woman, except in my case got displaced by a minor. I'll pack.
Bron exits. Adrienne flips to the last page of the legal document, takes out a fancy fountain pen, and signs. Then she curls up and cries. Scene 14, moving day. Adrienne and Bron's apartment. Bron enters alone with his suitcase. He's doing a final visual check and pocket check. Got everything? He leaves the suitcase and rushes off. Forgot something. The apartment door opens. Enter Violet with her suitcase.
Adrienne? Oh. Violet. Hello.
Hello, Bron. I'm early.
Eager, are you?
Very.
Well, I suppose you are old enough to legally leave unattended for half an hour or so.
Correct.
Bron hefts his suitcase.
Well then, good luck to you.
I want to thank you for making this possible. I know it's a huge disruption in your life and on Adrienne's life, and I really appreciate it. I'm sorry there isn't a better solution for you.
That's very kind of you to say.
It isn't. It's just a fact. I appreciate this. I hate it when people say, you're a lifesaver because you gave them a Kleenex or something trivial, but this is a big deal.
I begin to understand Adrienne's decision a little better. You are a person, but too young to a person to offer a drink. Tea? Coffee?
Tea would be lovely.
Excuse me a moment then.
Bron sets his suitcase down and exits. Violet sets her suitcase down and explores the living room, then gingerly seats herself at one end of the couch. Bron returns with a tray of tea things.
Awesome. Basic, popular, but not to be disdained on that account.
Violet takes a tiny sip, then another.
Very good. Thank you.
Loose leaf. If one is going to drink tea, one should learn to brew it.
We only have Lipton tea bags at home.
Of course you do. But Violet, from now on, this is home. Please make your aunt's sacrifice my sacrifice means something by thriving here.
Thank you. I'll be finishing this semester at my old school, but Aunt Adrienne has found me an academy that might suit me better. I plan to excel.
You're not intolerable, are you?
They sip their tea.
Uncle Bron? I can't call you Mr. Bron.
I suppose uncle is the proper salutation.
I'm stuck with Sunday night at my parents' house. But what if once a month I went to their place on Friday and came home on Sunday instead? Then you and Aunt Adrienne could see each other as if I didn't exist. Would you like that?
That's very thoughtful.
Or did you break up?
More or less, we're on a 9-year break.
Aunt Adrienne and I called my grandfather out of the blue. He was shocked. But we had a very productive conversation. I might spend summers with him, as long as I'm enrolled in some kind of educational or athletic program that takes a lot of hours. His words.
Birds of a feather.
Apparently.
Situation starts to look brighter for me, doesn't it?
I hope so. I'm not trying to ruin your life.
The door opens. Adrienne.
Ah, Violet arrived a bit early and caught me here where we've been having a most civilized conversation.
You have.
Uncle Bron was nice enough to make me tea.
Her parents were very clear that you were to be nowhere near their daughter, Bron, and stupid and thoughtless as the reasons are, I did sign, and I'd hate this whole thing to blow up over a polite cup of tea.
Bron stands.
Letter of the law, then.
It's gotta be. You might be pleased to learn that I'm not speaking to Vivian. If Violet wants to see her grandmother, she is perfectly welcome, but I have cut her off.
That seems drastic.
Drastic kind of describes all of my decisions recently.
I have to work off that $20 I stole.
Vivian won't take a 20 from me. It's not the money, it's some ridiculous principle.
Not stealing.
That one, right.
This really isn't my gossip anymore, Adrienne.
Right. Because we're on a break, which is all my fault. I know I'm not supposed to say it.
Don't! I've got to run, but there are one or two things we could still discuss, Adrienne, if you're willing.
Always.
There's another cup's worth of awesome in the pot. I understand you're switching from an after-work bourbon to tea.
It's going to be an adjustment, yes. Michelle's terms, no alcohol in the house.
Then this is it.
Bron, I'm really going to miss you.
Don't say it.
You're impervious, sterilized, perfect, unique.
Don't say it! We are not saying it. Not today.
What can I say then? Sayonara, see you around maybe, take care. Here's looking at...
Bron pulls Adrienne into a passionate embrace. Violet averts her eyes. It goes on a little longer than is polite.
You guys!
Bron and Adrienne break apart.
She is a child, Adrienne.
No, Bron. She's a person with a ways to go.
Bron grabs a suitcase and flees. Adrienne pours herself a cup of Assam and studiously ignores Violet, quelling her emotions. Violet tiptoes over to her suitcase, gives her aunt a conspiratorial smile, and tiptoes off to unpack. Adrienne sets down her teacup.
And so am I. So am I, so am I, so am I.
Blackout. End of play.
Thank you. Thank you, actors. Thank you, Catherine. Let's have another round of applause for them.